All right, I think I'm live. Hold on one second. I'm just going to adjust a little bit of lighting in here. I think I'm okay. It's a little dark, but it is. It's not showing up at all? Wait, I thought it was. Check. Can you see if you can get it now?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. All right, I think I'm going to give it a couple minutes. I'm expecting at least a couple more people. There is a first time for everything. 3 people. I know, it's, hold on. I'm going to turn on that light. Oh, that's actually a lot better. Oh yeah, that looks like a million times better. All right, I got 4 people. 5. It's funny, this reminds me of when I worked in Rochester at the jazz radio station. I would just look at the numbers on the little machine that counted how many people were watching. It was kind of fun. I'll get started soon, and then as other people join, I'll say a couple of things and just keep playing from there. But thank you to those who are already on. Okay, now we got 7. This is promising. Ah! Feel free to write me in the chat, just like Kevin did. I've had the pleasure of taking lessons with Kevin this summer. He's a fantastic piano player if you haven't heard him before. We've been exploring several solo piano concepts together, and I feel like my playing has changed a lot through this whole thing. I'll give it just a couple minutes and see who else shows up. I'll also leave the stream up for a good day or two, just in case people want to see it who haven't gotten the chance to join live. All right, I'm just going to start playing. So this is a standard that a couple of you might recognize. This is called Alone Together. And I think about that a lot because it does indeed feel like in these times that we're alone together, at least when we're playing music for each other, that we are literally by ourselves, but figuratively still connected in some way, whether that be on YouTube or the virtual world or just in each other's thoughts and prayers. So this is my interpretation. alone together. Oh, and there we go. I got a couple of other people joining. Peter Morelli's here. Another. And Kevin commented, he loves the flame emoji. I've noticed that about Kevin. He sends me texts with that all the time. Anyways, so much for listening. Those of you here, that tune I've heard go a million different directions, and just has a beautiful lyric to it too. At least the last verse goes, alone together beyond the crowd. We're still together, but not too loud. Into the great unknown, we can weather. There we go. We can weather the great unknown as long as we're alone together. So that's a good mantra for this time of uncertainty, I think. I'm going to continue with another swing tune along some different lines. This is a stride arrangement of a standard that I've heard a lot at the Lily Pad over the last couple of years. This is called I Hear a Rhapsody. You can interpret that title many different ways too. So, I Hear a Rhapsody. I'm going to mute myself because my sustain pedal tends to squeak. Oh, I need to unmute myself. I hear a Rhapsody, which again is a popular standard that gets played all over the place. I'm going to continue in a minute, but before that, I just want to mention I am in the process of recording all of these tunes for a solo album. It's been a really useful goal to me over this spring and this summer, since there really are no gigs right now, as probably you know already. So if you feel like leaving a tip, either via Venmo or PayPal, I'm definitely going to use all of the funds that I get to fund the recording session that I'm going to need to put all of this stuff down, and I'm sure the mastering will take some time and effort as well. So anything is much appreciated. Normally, I would try to charge a little bit at the door for something like this, though of course all of you are friends, so I don't want to charge too much. But really, everything goes a long way towards making this project possible, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'm very happy to finally be doing. I'm going to continue now with, a Latin version of a tune that I first heard, I forget even where, probably the Sinatra version. Singers love this one. This is called Night and Day, and I like to interpret this title in a variety of different ways. I feel like this is a tune that can be dark and also pretty lively at the same time. So this is Night and Day. Do I mute myself? It's another tune that can go so many different directions, but I've enjoyed exploring that type of feel, especially in solo piano, where you really you really can do anything you want, which is kind of the great thing about it and also the intimidating parts about it. So I'm going to continue with a swing tune that I first heard from pianist Bill Evans. This is called Nardis, and this is one that I think I originally started messing around with when I was teaching it to one of my groups, and just realizing that the rhythmic feel is really unique in this one, especially the way that Bill Evans plays it. So here we go, just catching up on some of the comments on the side. It's great to see friends from many, many different places. Yeah, so this is Nardis. So that is Nardis. If anybody knows where that title comes from, I'd be really curious. Yeah, I'm getting a couple of comments here. Oh my goodness, some of these people who I have not seen in ages in person. That is kind of the sad part about some of this, is some of the people that you see at various clubs or jam sessions you just don't see anymore. So it's nice to catch up with some of you on YouTube, and I would love to check out what you've been up to as well some of these days, because man, there's so much great music happening despite all of this. I'm constantly inspired by the creativity of my peers and my mentors. Yeah, and it's actually been great for me to get to take some lessons of my own this summer and really catch up with some of the people that I've had questions for the past several years. Again, if you're just joining, this is all kind of an album preview, because I'm going to be recording this stuff over the next couple weeks and hopefully releasing it as my first official solo album as a professional pianist. If you'd like to support the project, all of the contributions will go towards recording fees, mastering, etc. You can find my PayPal and my Venmo at the very beginning of the comments section. On Venmo, it's just Jonathan Fagan 3. I don't know how I ended up with the number 3, but don't send it to number 1, because I don't know who that is, and they might be happy about it, but I might not be. Or PayPal is fine too, though I tend to use that a little less regularly. So I'm going to slow down now and play a tune that was one of the first real standards that I learned. I remember it was at the Rivers Jazz Camp, of all places. For those of you who are from around here know the Rivers Conservatory. I ended up studying with a great bass player named Jim Gutman. And he was the one that taught me this tune, and it's stuck with me for many years. This is called Tenderly. Tenderly. Such a great tune. I feel like it's one that doesn't get called as much as it should. It's just really, and the lyrics are great. I haven't even heard that many. I haven't even heard that many singers do it. Catching up on some of the comments here. Oh, Gordon says that it's one of his favorite ballads too. That's great. I love drummers, by the way, who love ballads. Gordon gets major respect points for that one. Yeah, it's so great to catch up with everybody on here. Even if you can't stay for the entire thing, just say hello in the comments. I'd love to catch up with all of these later and maybe write back to some of you too. I'm especially actually very shocked that Gordon is watching right now because the Celtics and the Sixers are playing right now. And if I know one thing about Gordon, it's that he is religious about his basketball experience. So that is really shocking to me. Perhaps that's one reason that some people are tuning in and out. Oh my God, Gordon just writes me, got both on. Wow, that is the two things that you love most in the world, music and basketball, in one place. Amazing. Anyways, that aside, I'm going to continue now. Just got a couple more left. This one is an arrangement that, and I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by these comments. Shayla writes, no game spoilers. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to play an arrangement of another tune that just seems to get called all the time. This is How High the Moon, but I've put it in 5. So see what happens here. That is How High the Moon. Um, at least my own interpretation of How High the Moon, which is in 5/4 for you musician geeks out there. I'm just going to do a couple more, and then I think I'm about out of time. Um, oh, Kevin Harris asking in the chat, will I also be exploring original solo piano compositions? I wasn't planning on it in this album. I've just enjoyed working on these standards in new ways, though I have been writing a lot. In fact, our last meeting, we were looking at a couple of tunes that I'm writing for a jazz festival that I'm organizing in Medford in October. So stay tuned for more information about that. Um, I'm in the process of applying for another grant that will hopefully give us the funds that we need to bring additional artists and to even book a studio where we can broadcast that virtually. So that's kind of where my composition efforts are going at the moment. Though maybe if we have time at the end, I'll play one of my tunes. Which is always interesting to go back to your own material after you've been working on, well, standards for a long time. So I'm going to play one more. This one holds a special place in my heart. Shayla's saying, next album should be original. Okay, I agree. That would motivate me to write a lot more too, which is something that I have not done as much of this summer as I would like. So this one holds is kind of near and dear to my heart. This is a tune that originally I played on my junior recital in college in honor of the great Fred Sturm, who passed away before my senior year of cancer. But he was a man that no matter what he was doing, he always came into our rehearsals totally smiling and totally excited about what we were going to do. And even while he was in the end stages of this, he was able to do incredible concerts with all of us. And it inspired me certainly to become the musician that I am. So this is the Charlie Chaplin tune, Smile. I always liked that tune, even though I guess in some circles it's seen as more of a cheesy composition, just because of how old it is and how many different versions there are. I guess I do have time for one more, which is also in the key of E flat. For some reason, I've ended up picking up a lot of pieces in the key of E flat, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's a very different feel, anyways. Um, Oh, that last one, Gordon is asking, that was called Smile, a Charlie Chaplin tune, of all people. Beautiful composition, but underplayed, partly because I think it's just such an old tune. This last one, oh, and I should mention before, thank you, Kevin, also. I'm a terrible self-promoter. I keep forgetting about this. Again, this is an album preview stream. I'm in the process of recording. My dad says Charlie Chaplin wrote standards. That particular standard, I don't know any other song that's made it into the songbook by Charlie Chaplin, but that one did. Yeah. But anyways, this is an album preview concert. I'm in the process of recording all of these, so it's very useful to just play them all through. Yes, like the mime actor. Sorry, I have total ADD with screens. But yes, I'm in the process of recording all of these. I'll probably have one more session. I laid some of it down, but I will definitely be using all of the donations from tonight to fund that recording project. And I know I've gotten some of you on Venmo already. My username is Jonathan-Fagan-3. You have to remember to put the 3 in there. My picture should come up. Or if it's easier to hit me up on PayPal, any donation is much appreciated. It really helps me fund this, especially at a time where there aren't very many other gigs going on. In fact, I don't think there are any gigs going on for anybody right now. So these streams are a great opportunity. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm going to play one more piece. This is A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. All right, that was just catching up on some of the other comments. Thank you so much for the kind words, everybody. It really means a lot, especially right now when I think we're also isolated in different ways. I think that's all the time I have. That was A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square, another ballad that I think is lesser known than some of the other ones that people call. Again, this is kind of my own fundraiser for an album that I'm in the process of recording. So if you haven't already, feel free to donate on Venmo or PayPal. The links are in the description, or not in the description, in the comments section um, at the beginning of the chat. Um, so thank you all so much for listening. It means so much to be able to play still for such a nice audience. And I will hope to do another one of these sometime soon, especially as I'm going through the process of recording and maybe working up some original tunes as well. I'll be writing a lot more later in this month, so this definitely gives me motivation to share a lot more. I will save this chat for sure. Feel free to drop any comments, questions about the arrangements, thoughts. I always really welcome feedback, especially at this point. And I've already gotten some good feedback from family and friends about the arrangements. I've grown a lot from kind of revising based on all of that. So um, yeah, thanks again for watching, and I think that's it. Have a great night, and yeah, and definitely be in touch. All right.